Hello Simmers, I got a long video for you today. Like I promised, I am doing my castle. So basically, this is the Callahan castle. It is from Simsie's December Shell Challenge. I did build it back in December, so you can tell how old this build is. It's also been on my gallery since then as well. But basically, I wanted to make a castle for this shell challenge. I try to do every time I do a shell challenge, I try to make it different from the last one that I did, especially with Little Simsies. So this is what I came up with. I wanted to do a castle, something different, something big, and basically, this was when like platforms first came out, and I kind of wanted to play with it and make a grand entrance, and I did that. So also I want to know, I did not show you guys like how I did the spheres. To be honest, I did not spheres, the cylinders, like the towers. To be honest, like I did lose the footage of that, or I didn't record it, I can't remember, but I did lose it basically, and it's not that important though. It's just a bunch of platforms raised up on top of each other, and I thought it was a really cool thing to do. It is an opportunity we have now because we have platforms. So basically, I wanted to make a castle, and the whole story is that three princesses live here, or used to live here, and it brought a lot of magic to the town. And so basically, the whole, like, everybody likes going there right now. I'm actually gonna move the princesses in a different house in Willow Creek, or not Willow Creek, Brindle, no, not Brindleton Bay. Windenburg, yes, got it. But basically, this one is now like something like people can visit. I think I turned it into a generic building, I think, but I'm not so sure. But it's a place like people can visit, and it used to be where they live. Now they are in hiding because they don't want their secrets to be given away. But basically, I took inspiration of how like Sydney Macaretta does her like lighting. I will link her channel down below, and Little Simsies as well, because they are basically what inspired this whole build. Not the whole build, but like most of it at least. But I love how she does those lights. Usually she hangs them from trees and does different things. So I will definitely link her down below so you can check out her channel. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. The outside took a really long time, and at first I was just gonna have fountains, but then I turned it into like a big pond. And you'll see like it was a pond, or like it was like technically a pond in the game, and then I wanted the swampy water so like people can actually swim in this. I think I included like little ladders to get in, but I really wanted to look like this lot to look very magical and mystical. I believe this is in Windenburg, if I'm not mistaken. Or not Windenburg. Why do I keep saying Windenburg? No. Yeah. I had it right. It's in Windenburg. The princesses are also in Windenburg. I don't know if I gave them a home yet, but we'll see. I don't even know if I placed them down or made a house for them, honestly. So they could be anywhere in any part of the save. And if you're like, whoa, Tavia, this build is going by really fast, faster than your normal videos, wow, weird, crazy. It is. It's going 10 speed, so it's sped up times 10. And I usually do my videos at times 8 or times 6. It's just this video is very long. If I didn't speed it up, it would have been almost an hour long. And I like videos like that, but I know I never watch them all. So I wanted to be sure you guys could finish this in a good sitting, and you would stay till the end. But basically I use a lot of debug, but this place is also really expensive because it's a castle. But basically, some of the debug items were just things like I think really added to the overall vibe. Especially, I added towards the end, or I think I might have added it at the beginning, but I added the orbs from the magic realm just to add to the magic, but also because I think those are cool, and anytime I can use it is a really fun time. So basically, I just go through the list of items on debug, and I actually have this mod in. I link it every single time. It's from, let me pull up their name. It is from, oh my god, I'm messing it up already. I'm messing it up. The Twisted Mechs or something like that. Twisted. I use it every single time. Twisted Mexies. That's the name. I'm sorry it took so long for me to get it, but it's from Twisted Mexies. I use this mod all the time. There's a little, like, I link it down, but every time you see my menu go up like 5 rows, it's really to help with like debug, but it also helps me take my screenshots, which basically, when, if you don't know, when I take my screenshots, I can actually take them in build mode, which makes it a lot easier than going in game and stuff like that. But I think it's a good feature for creators or people who just like taking pictures after they build. But yeah, that's what I do. That's what I utilize. I've been feeling weird. Like, I recorded 2 videos already. They should already came out. I have one scheduled and I already uploaded one. But basically, I've been just feeling like goofy, like fun. I'm a completely new person now. But yeah, let's see if I have any stories in my lexicon. I do. I've been working a lot lately and I've been in an uppity mood. I don't know why. It must be because I'm going crazy, but certainly it can't be that because I'm already a little bit crazy. I don't know, I just feel like everything feels good. It doesn't feel. I think I was very glum like for a while, just like everybody else with the pandemic happening. But one of my favorite creators, they had a whole issue with one of their employees. Well, a few of them, but one that meant like a lot to me. But he was just doing bad things on the DL, and it was really sad when that happened. And that was around the time when I was feeling my worst. And usually, like when you don't feel like good, like mentally, then like you lean on creators sometimes. Like they come in clutch, and then like one of the main creators that I was watching, they had some of the saddest things that can ever happen to a company, and like just knowing like someone who's you seen as a friend or as someone you could look up to just was this horrible person. It was really sad. Um, but I think I'm feeling better now. I like they've really bounced back, and I've found a lot more creators that I like to watch. Um, I'll give out a little shout outs, like free promo or whatever. But my favorite channel is Achievement Hunter. They are a part of Rooster Teeth. I also like watching a few simmers. I like lilsimsie. I like Sydney Macaretta. I like Simlissie. Um, I like watching Jessie. She's also a simmer. And then I can't think of I've been watching a lot of H3. I know they've been around for a while, but I just hasn't been watching them for as long. And then, but I've gotten into their podcasts. I like the show with Trisha Paytas and Ethan Klein. I really like it. I don't Frenemies, that's what it's called. I've been watching that a lot lately. I've just really been enjoying all the content that's been coming out. And then also Alfredo Diaz, also known as Alfredo Plays on Twitch. He's really been cheering me up, him and Jeremy Dooley, Dooley Noted Gaming. I just like watching like games being played more than I like playing them sometimes even. They've been playing a lot of Among Us, Valheim. I like a lot of like different types of games, so I know like not all of you may be into stuff like that, but that's what I've been enjoying lately, especially. But here you can see I'm landscaping on the build. Sorry, like sometimes I accidentally press the Windows key a lot, and so that's what you might be seeing. But basically, I wanted to make it look whimsical, and I even made like a little secret garden in the back, and I really try to use the terrain tool, which I'm not good at all. So you can probably notice that just a little bit. And then I had this issue with foundations back in December, obviously, but you can see, like, I even tried to save my game to fix it, but I had this whole issue where it kept, like, making gaps in the foundation, and then when I tried to put a foundation back, it wouldn't let me. And I don't know if you guys were having that problem. I don't know if it's still a problem, but I kind of fixed it, and I don't know how. So that's the moral of my story right there. I really wanted to make this really cool building. I couldn't change any of the walls. If you know any of the shell builds like that any of the creators have come out with, you can't touch the walls. Like, you can change it into things, but you can't like physically remove them or do anything. You can build on top of it, you can do porches, you can do whatever, but you just can't touch the walls that already pre-exist. So that's what I did here, and I had a lot of fun. Um, I really like using the windows that I use. I use Realm of Magic, surprisingly. This is just a Realm of Magic build at this point. No, but I use Realm of Magic, and I think I also use another pack. I don't want to say Vintage Glamour, but one of the ones that I think it was Dine Out, maybe? Or no, I'm just making up things now. I just wanted to make this build look luxe and stuff, so yeah. But if you guys wanted to know how long this whole build even took, it took a total of 6 hours. Like, I put it into my game, and it said 6 hours, or I put it into my game. No, I put it into my editing software, and it said 6 hours in total for everything. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. And then I actually had to like speed it up a lot because I'm including I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but I'm gonna include a creative sim video at the end. Just like I've been saying before, if I built a family that goes along with the storyline, I'm gonna kind of clump them together just to get more of the videos out that I've already created. I don't want to split them up. Just because there's a lot in my backlog that I've been talking about, and mama didn't raise no liar, you know? And so I'm just trying to get rid of them all, and this one took really long because it's a big exterior. The inside isn't as big, but I did try to add like a lot of details. And obviously this is from December, so I don't think we had Snowy Escape at the time, and we definitely didn't have the kits along the way. So there might be some things you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. That's kind of different. But I also wanted to make note that I realize, like, as I go on in time and I watch, like, different builders, I kind of, like, I don't mimic their style, but I take notes on what things like that they like or don't like about a build. And like some of the things I can think of is like some builders like to clutter their house, and I didn't clutter mine as much before, and I try to clutter it a little more than I usually would. Other things are like I some people don't like when you split windows like with a wall, and so I try to avoid that at all costs now because I'm like, oh my god. I also like block off more rooms if it makes it look better. I used to not like block off rooms at all, because I thought it like why would you waste that space? But some builds like the room looks more square, or you need it to look a certain way, and if it doesn't, then it's off. And I try to practice using those things now, and I slowly try to make my builds better. I take notes of some of the creators that I like to watch. Um, and yeah, I even like I try to use different decoration or furniture just to throw my builds up a little bit. There's definitely favorites that I have, but I try to use like some things I may think look ugly, and you don't know, you might end up thinking it looks good in the long run, but it was ugly at first. And I know that sounds crazy, but um, there's some people who like they jokingly use like bad stuff or things like their audience don't like, and then they realize like that they actually like it because it's like ugly in a cute way. I know that sounds funny. I don't think I really did that for this. Like, I think things that are ugly are cute in general. But I don't like think something's usually ugly at first and then like use it a lot. But I've been finding that I think some things are ugly and then I'll start using it more, and then I'm like, oh, I actually like this. There was this one chair, um, it like it was the bane of my existence, and then I started using it once, and then I was like, oh, this looks nice. And for certain builds, like I'll use it because I think it looks cool and stuff, but I know like at first I did not like certain things. I'm also excited because they had an update where they repatched some of the hairs, and they're working on earlier versions of hairs. They're working on remastering them or recreating them into something that doesn't look as atrocious. I think that's just wonderful, especially for like black hairs or like hair for black characters. I think it works well because like they didn't know how to do like afro texture, and as someone with hair like that's really curly and I mix, it like beats a lot. And so I don't know, I like how The Sims 4 is improving every time, and I kind of wish like The Sims 4 never dies. I wish, like some people think there are problems with how The Sims 4 is like in its very existence, and that's what they don't like about it. But in my opinion, I think like The Sims 4 is a great basis and just can be built upon like as time goes on, and I don't mind if it stays the same base mechanics and then they just build on it and improve it and do stuff, because I think there's a lot of possibilities that they can always build upon in this game. And I think it's noteworthy that this game has been the longest running Sims game that has ever been created, and I don't know, like I feel like that's something that should mean something or be a part of something in some way, shape, or form. And maybe if they gave creators and simmers like all like what they actually want in the game. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate some of the Sims 4 surprises, but if they gave full, not full transparency, but if they gave a little bit of transparency on the Sims games, I think a lot more people would be enjoying it, because people love when they get to vote on things that they like in the Sims, and it turns out being something really good for them. But one of the biggest surprises I think that actually worked out was eco lifestyle. Like, people weren't anticipating that, but then it turned out to be a really good hit. The kids, I think they should have talked a bit more about it, but I do like the idea of kids. I like what they can become and what they can inspire people to do, because my opinion, kids are nice. I think there are opportunities for the Sims to actually have like their half ideas and turn it into something useful. I just wish like they would include a little bit more in some of the kits, because like the cleaning kit, I just can't get behind that. I don't think that's worth the money. And same, some people think the 90s gear wasn't worth the money, but I did like the 90s gear. I also, everybody can agree the kitchen stuff was like 100%. Like, the country kitchen was something that we needed and wanted, and something we didn't anticipate. But I feel like they should think every single time, like, a half idea isn't like 100% like a pack. They shouldn't make it into a kit and make it into something that we can have just for like a little breath of air. Because like some of the ideas that they gave that we could vote on, I don't think were like 100% thought out as a great idea, and I think like you could tell with how many people voted for it. Um, but definitely they can come back as the packs or kits or something. Like, there's so many possibilities, and every time like they come out with those votes, it proves that there's so many directions that they can go with the Sims 4, especially. Ooh, it's always crazy doing videos like this, because especially the long ones, because my voice feels so shriveled and so dry. But I'm excited for you guys to be able to see this. I think I worked really hard on this build, and I'm glad I get to share it with you. And especially since I've been keeping up my schedule so far, I think that's even better. I feel like if I stick to a certain day where I record, or a certain day where I sit down and have it, it might be a little bit helpful for me. That's kind of what I do for school. There's always like a specific day where I'm like, alright, you need to do your homework right here, right now. And I think it's been working out so far. But who knows? I have been known to rebel that schedule and still mess it up some way, somehow, some shape, some form. But let's get back to the build, because I got a little sidetracked. But I completely love this garden. I love the idea. I feel like they were like, they're supposed to, like, during the time that they lived there, they were supposed to be these princesses who ruled the whole town, and for them that was a lot of responsibility. And I feel like one of them would come out and like just sit and like garden, or even just read a book outside. And I like that idea. And there's a lot of tea lights out there too, so you could tell they would go at night as well. And I feel like the servants would come out, like the maid or something would come out and yell at them for being outside. I have like 3 specific princesses, and I like the idea behind all of them, because I feel like they're traditionally like looked at princesses, but they have characteristics to them that sparks like a little bit of feminism. And I kind of like doing that with my characters, like reinventing the idea behind their roles. And so I'm just like doing like a little bit of skill items. I thought about it and I was like, oh my god, I have none. So I went and put some around just to make it look more finished and more polished, and I wanted them to be able to level up in some way. and that was my idea, putting on like portraits and stuff, and that's the best way to use a porch. If you need to add skill items, portraits are the way to go, 100%. And lately I've been adding like a lot of skill items on portraits. I think it's just a fun way to go about things. And I don't know, like, I'm like a totally new me now. But I don't know, I had fun like adding little decorations and stuff like that. I don't really usually think about this, but like when in certain builds I'm like, I have extra time to kill, and I had like a lot of fun doing this, so I might as well look for it. And yeah, I think the build came out nice. Like you can see, I did 3 different colored rooms. I did like a pink room, I did a like teal or green room, and then I did a more yellow room. I really wanted them to have their own like defined colors, because that's kind of like how princesses were seen, or like the ones on TVs and shows. And by princesses, I'm definitely meaning like fictional princesses, not like real life princesses. Yeah, like real life princesses were cool and all, but how about I make up one? So basically, this is my shell challenge. I gave a nice, cute description, and you could see like the different angles. I had to count like how many bedrooms and bathrooms. But I do want to know, I did forget a bathroom at first, and I was gonna be done like way earlier, but then I started adding detailing, then I started adding a bathroom finally, because you can see like I added the bathroom at the end. I really didn't think of like them going to the bathroom or anything, obviously, so I had to add one. And then this was a cool thing I added at the end. I added the lights to the building. I feel like, and like I'm thinking of like more like Tangled, but like they had like celebrations, and the whole thing with her like family sending the lights are so cute, and so I kind of wanted to add that like aspect, because it's one of my favorite movies to watch. That, Princess and the Frog, and Mulan are my 3 favorite Disney princess movies to watch, just because they're just so adorable and stuff. And then I had to hide the pole, sadly, by adding like a bunch of like plants and stuff just to make it look normalish. And so you'll see that I tried a lot of complicated tricks to hide it and make it look good. And then like terrain tools are so annoying, because look, you can see like the plants float, you can't bring them down, and it's such a burden. And so like I had to go back and look and see if everything was actually placed properly, because like they floated like 20 feet in the air, and I didn't want that. That was a big no-no for me. um, but I don't know, like that's a weird glitch I get sometimes with terrain. Like I can't move it down, I can't do anything, and like you don't notice it when you're looking straight down from it, but I don't know, it's just the little details like that no one pays attention to. So basically, that's how I finished it up. Grand entrance was something I wanted to try out, and it really worked out in the end. And then, like, I think the inside is nice. I added nice sculptures. I made it really look like a rich house. I think I attempted that in the best way. And even the dining room looks spacious. The kitchen's a little crowded, but that's in their, like in a fairy tale world, that's where the help would go. But yeah, and I think the colors are really standoutish. I like the worn look in some of the rooms. I viewed them as very fun, creative activities to do, and I feel bad because the pink room's so big, but hey, who cares? um, well, I mean, I think they care a little bit. I think it's something that the sisters argued about, but in the end, one of them got the room. And then here you can see I'm creating the family for it, and I really wanted to make 3 very inclusive princesses. I try to make them look like they dress as princesses, and I'm just not that well adept with how princesses dress, I guess. So this is obviously like realistic mixed with fairy tale-ish, like idealized. And one of the funny things I thought of was to make them all wear gloves, and there was one that doesn't always wear their gloves. Um, so yeah, I think the yellow one is more of a kind-hearted girl, like who, I don't know, like she listens to directions. And I think the purple one, this is a bad like comparison, but I kind of see them as Alvin and the Chipmunks. And their colors kind of go like the yellow one's like Theodore in a way, like very nice, very wholesome, and then the blue one is like Simon, and she is very like she's very into like the traditional wear, like they're supposed to wear like fancy outfits all the time, wear their gloves on, and then like I feel like she also like is very smart and very like she always tells all like them not to do certain things because it's dangerous or whatever. She doesn't ever take a break or anything, but she's still kind-hearted in a way, you know, like she's not too stuck up where she doesn't like give in just a little bit and they get into trouble sometimes. But I really liked her character. Hers was honestly one of my favorites. It was fun really dressing her up because her character was so strong. And I don't know, like her stuff was so fun. It's the outfits like you don't usually get to dress your Sims in. And so like I found hers really, really amazing to do, and I thought it was funny she even wears gloves around the pool. Like I feel like they were her swimming gloves. And then for like her warm weather, she just wears shorter gloves than the ones she had in her everyday. I just found it really fun. And then like for winter, like she wears even like the cuffs, like the handcuffs. Like she is like a true like princess. Like she it follows every rule. She may even be the oldest. Like she just likes following everything how it should be. And they are all sisters. They are all like friends and stuff like that. And I know I said like the first one's more like Theodore and Elvin and the Chipmunks. I also feel like she also kind of leads in a sense. Like that's why I made her like very into what she like. If you look at her traits, they're very in tune with what it should be. But I don't know. And then obviously the last one is very. I put self-absorbed. I thought it was funny, and I really think they kind of follow like Alvin and Chipmunks. Like I didn't realize it until I started designing, or like until like I watched it back right now. Like and I made this like a few months ago now, like 4 or 5 months ago, and so like it's just insane. Like how I'm like, oh my gosh. But this is the one I was talking about where she'll lose her glove. She doesn't want to follow everything. She kind of wants to dress a little like a normal teenage girl or young adult girl would wear. And yeah, like they always force her to wear them, but sometimes she loses one. She's not as ladylike as they expect her to be, and I feel like she tries to break the mold a little bit. And I feel like she's the one that gets in trouble just a little too much. Yeah, but like she obviously doesn't wear her gloves when it's hot, and like she still wears like her stockings, but like she doesn't want to. Like she argues about it and stuff like that. She still wears her gloves sometimes, but I felt like she was the one that tries to break the status quo sometimes. Oh my god, I didn't realize they did change her gloves. So what I was saying was like not in depth with what I was saying. But I feel like if she could, she would take her gloves off sometimes. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making these gals, and I thought it was a really fun thing to do. And obviously, I go back to the first girl because I didn't finish all their outfits. I thought it was fun. Like, they have their sporting gloves and their swimming gloves. Like, they always wear gloves or stockings, and I just thought it was funny. They're very strong and independent, and they're very like people like you look up to, because some of the things you can know about Disney princesses is that they don't always like are the best role models. They're like, oh, a lady should be this, a lady should be that, and these girls, like, they were an inspiration to their kingdom in a sense, and they're like someone like you can kind of look up to. See, that's kind of one of the things I would want to do, is like do children's stories and stuff like that. I thought it was fun, and I even added like a little something to everything. But yeah, that's basically all I have for you guys today, and thank you.